I was never the loudest man in the room. People assumed that because I was a fighter, because I was intense, because my movements were sharp and my presence was strong, that I was always speaking, always asserting myself, always explaining who I was. But the truth is very different. Early in my life, I learned that words leak energy. Every unnecessary explanation weakens the mind. Every attempt to convince others pulls you away from yourself. Silence, on the other hand, sharpens you. I learned silence not from books, but from experience. When I was young, growing up in Hong Kong, I was restless. I fought often. I spoke too much. I reacted quickly. And that reaction cost me. It brought trouble, attention, and distraction. Over time, I began to see that every time I reacted emotionally, every time I tried to prove myself with words, I lost control. Silence gave me control back. When I began training seriously in martial arts, I noticed something about the true masters. They did not talk much. They did not boast. They did not announce their intentions. They watched. They listened. They waited. Their stillness was intimidating because it was full, not empty. I decided to become like that. When I moved to the United States and began teaching martial arts, many people doubted me. I was young. I was Chinese. I did not fit into the traditional martial arts systems that dominated at the time. I broke rules. I questioned styles. And because of that, people talked. They said I was arrogant. They said I was disrespectful. They said I had no right to teach. At first, I wanted to respond to every criticism. I wanted to explain myself. I wanted to defend my philosophy. But I realized something important. Every argument pulled me into their frame, not mine. So I stopped explaining. I let my work speak. I trained harder. I refined my movement. I deepened my understanding. And slowly, people noticed that what I was doing worked. Not because I argued, but because the results were undeniable. Silence became my ally. There was a time when I was challenged publicly by members of the traditional martial arts community. They demanded that I stop teaching non-Chinese students. They questioned my legitimacy. Eventually, it led to a private fight, one that has been talked about for decades. Before that fight, I did not boast. I did not threaten. I did not announce victory. I prepared in silence. After the fight, I did not celebrate loudly either. I reflected. I analyzed my weaknesses. I realized I had relied too much on brute speed and strength, and not enough on efficiency and endurance. That realization changed my entire approach to training and led to the refinement of Jeet Kune Do. Silence did not make me passive. Silence made me precise. When I entered Hollywood, silence became even more important. I was rejected constantly. Casting directors saw me as too Asian, too foreign, too unconventional. They wanted stereotypes. They wanted accents. They wanted caricatures. They wanted me to fit into a box. I refused. But I did not shout my refusal. I did not beg for roles. I did not complain publicly about injustice. I kept training. I kept studying philosophy. I kept writing. I kept preparing. People talked. They said I was difficult. They said I had an ego. They said I would never make it. I let them talk. Silence allowed me to conserve my energy and invest it where it mattered. Eventually, when I created my own opportunities, when I stood on screen with presence and authenticity, the same people who doubted me fell silent. That is the power of silence. It reverses roles. A man who reacts loudly is easy to control. A man who is silent is unpredictable. I use silence in my training every day. When I train alone, I did not need music. I did not need applause. I listened to my breath. I listened to my body. I listened to my tension and my release. Silence allowed me to feel what noise would hide. Most people avoid silence because it forces them to face themselves. I embraced it. In silence, I saw my impatience. In silence, I saw my fear. In silence, I saw my ego. And only what you can see can be mastered. As I studied philosophy, Taoism, Zen, Western thought silence became more than a tactic. It became a way of being. Lao Tzu taught that those who know do not speak much, and those who speak much often do not know. That truth aligned perfectly with my experience. Water does not announce its power. It flows. It adapts. It wears down mountains quietly. I learned that silence is not weakness. Silence is restraint. Silence is confidence without performance. There were many moments when I was misunderstood. Interviews twisted my words. People reduced my philosophy to slogans. Instead of constantly correcting them, I focused on living the philosophy. When you live it, you do not need to explain it. In my personal life, silence protected me as well. Fame brings noise, opinions, expectations, projections. Everyone thinks they know you. If you respond to all of it, you lose yourself. So I withdrew inward. I wrote, I trained, I reflected. Silence gave me clarity. Let me be clear, silence does not mean avoidance. It does not mean fear. It means choosing your battles carefully. It means responding with action, not reaction. When someone insulted me, I did not rush to retaliate. I asked myself, does this deserve my energy? Most of the time, the answer was no. Energy is life. Wasted on noise, and you weaken. I watched fighters who talked endlessly before matches. They shouted, they threatened, they tried to intimidate. And often, when the moment came, they collapsed under pressure because their power was external, mine was internal. Silence trained my nervous system. It slowed my reactions. It sharpened my timing. In combat, timing is everything. The quiet mind sees openings the noisy mind misses. That is why I could explode with speed, because inside I was calm. Many people think power is aggression. It is not. Power is control, and silence is control at its highest level. Now let me speak directly to you. If you feel the need to explain yourself constantly, you are leaking power. If you feel triggered by every opinion, you are being controlled. If you cannot sit in silence, you have not yet mastered yourself. Learn to pause. Learn to observe. Learn to let people talk while you grow. Your silence will disturb those who expect noise, because silence signals depth. I did not become who I was by shouting my intentions. I became who I was by aligning thought, body, and action quietly, consistently, relentlessly. Silence is not empty. It is full of awareness. When you stop talking, you start seeing. When you stop reacting, you start choosing. When you stop explaining, you start becoming. This is why silence is power. Now let's close with this. The loud man wants to be seen. The silent man already sees. Be silent. Be disciplined. Be dangerous. And let your results speak for you.